Hello there, people. Welcome back to the EagleBite 83 channel where the past never dies. I'm, of course, your host, EagleBite. And this night, we are going to be doing another roleplay review episode. It is going to be covering... We are going to be covering the episode 23, Banana Man, from my roleplay series, Blood Ties. So we're going to be doing that. I just need to remember how I actually did this, because I haven't done this in a while now. I have to remember. The Banana Man is actually a fun one. There's a lot of humor in that one. There we go. Okay, so how did we do this? We did the screen capture, right? Yeah, I think we did. Yeah. Okay then. Everybody good? Let's do it. Banana Man. Some backstory, Banana Man. This is from the Blood Ties series. Short recap. Me, Robin Burley, and my brother, Rory Burley, have lost our cousin, Dexter Burley, to the whims of a madman called Warlock, who's also the big bad on Deer Isle. And this took place on the server Survivalists RP back in 2021. And we have just relocated to a new location. And we're basically just starting our adventure to trying to look for Warlock, trying to, see if people have heard about him and whatnot. Alright, let me just put this on fucking mute, because it keeps going off constantly, which is annoying. Alright, let's do it. Here is Blood Ties, episode 23, Banana Man. Oh, sorry. Hang on, let me just... Why is that active? That's not supposed to be active there. Strange. There we go. Yeah, you go do that. Thanks for stopping by, man. Have a good one. This spiffy duffel bag I have on my back.
Oh yeah, yes. Oh, very spiffy indeed.
I have been thinking. Remember, I was like talking a little bit about an idea I had about providing courier services. This was actually something that I immediately thought of when I saw the duffel bag that we were given on this server. I was like, oh shit, you know we got to do a courier service, yeah. To friendly people, we could use these duffel bags, and I got one for you too.
Oh my, look at that big old red one. Yeah.
I was thinking you always have the red scarf, I have the green one. Although I used the red one yesterday, but still.
The idea had grown slowly but surely out of the fact that we had settled close to New Duskar and were perfectly situated so as to be employed by people wanting to move shit to and from this major settlement. We would call it the Burley Brothers Courier Service and charge a small fee for the work, making us able to gain a steady income of nails so as to be able to fortify the eventual settlement of Burleyville. Of course, this was just an idea as of yet, and to be fully established, at some point we were going to have to talk to New Duskar about it.
The whole thing with Burleyville, I don't even know how that... It was just an idea that we toyed with, and then suddenly it became like something that we wanted to do. Create the settlement of Burleyville. Episode 23, The Banana Man. I never was sure if I should have, like, the line there, the little,
Hello there.
thing.
How's it going?
Everything's
Oh,
good.
yeah,
How about
this
you?
is Sav.
A little bit like you.
This is Sav.
Yeah.
What's your name, man?
Y'all stay right here in this camp? Sab, I'm from New Dusk.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Maybe we could ask you a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does New Duskar go around asking people for taxes? I don't figure you do, because I've known you since old
No.
Duskar. Alright.
No, we shouldn't. If you ever have someone wearing our armbands or saying they're from there doing
No,
that,
no.
absolutely, yeah.
That's not the case. It's just that we live, like right here, very near to Duskar, and someone left a note right over there on my house demanding taxes.
Yeah.
Oh. No, that would not be us. And anytime you have a problem like that, you can always come up there and talk to Arthur, because he's a man, a honest man. He don't believe in that type. I'm
okay.
on the security force, but I mainly lead towards scavenging. I prefer to go out and explore more than
I gotcha.
I care for the
Is
security.
that why you don't have any armbands on?
Yeah, when I go out by myself, I don't bring my armband, especially because I don't know if y'all have heard over the radio, we've been having some issues with people stay towards Cushville.
Honestly, I would have a problem with that. The whole, like, I'm with a group, but I don't wear the armbands. That never sat right with me. That's, like, so fucking annoying. Because I feel like if you have an armband on, that's an identifier, you know? If you don't have an armband on, how is, like, a bandit group gonna know that you're part of a group that they might not want to fuck with, you know? You have to have your armband on. I would even, like, be in favor of some kind of rule that prevents armbands from being stolen and used in false flag operations just because of that. Because I feel like you should, otherwise it becomes this whole thing, like some service that I've played recently, they don't use their very creative symbols on flags or armbands, even though they do have them, but they rather use a placeholder flag or a placeholder armband because they don't want to risk getting the armbands or flags stolen. Which is just, it's just self-defeating, to even have. And some of these, like, symbols and like the iconography of the flags and all that made by other players are really beautiful work, like really awesomely done. And it's a shame that it just goes to waste, you know what I mean?
They attempted to assassinate Arthur. We had a mutant attack, and they were up there, and they went to help, and they threw a grenade. And
Oh yeah, now they're talking about Jose. Jose, if you remember from the last episode, was the former member of New Duskar that had accidentally messed up and killed some of his. He had team killed some of his fellow members of New Duskar purely by accident, like accidental friendly fire, and he was fined for it, and he was kicked out, and now he wanted some payback, so he actually attacked them. He attacked the settlement of New Duskar.
and wounded 5 of our people. Arthur just wanted compensation for the, I guess that's how you say that word, for the people that were hurt.
Yeah.
and he wasn't having that. That was him retaliating from it.
Okay. Okay.
I come by here all the time, and I was wondering when would meet y'all.
Yeah, we're the Burley brothers. I'm Robin, and this is Rory. And
So,
It's nice to meet
yeah, nice to meet you
if
too.
you,
Yeah.
if you ever need any help or anything, let us know.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
just
that's the
wondering
only.
a little bit about that whole note business. I mean, we weren't like thinking that it was New Duskar, but we just wanted to confirm it.
The Orbiters are the only group that I was told to watch out for when.
Yeah, you
Did
never
they
know
conquer
where
New
you have them.
Duskar?
Oh, hang on. It's buffering for some reason. That's weird. It usually doesn't do that. Oh shit, I can't even. No, I should be able. No. What's going on? Okay, something is going on here. I think the whole thing froze. I can't even click on other windows now for some reason. Huh. Oh,
No, they have not.
okay.
They
Okay.
come through all the time and hang
Yeah.
out
Jesus.
and chit chat, but
It must have
I
been a
was told.
do that.
miscommunication.
Weird.
Someone
was
said
told
in
if
public chat or public radio that the arbiters are attacking New Duskar, but yeah, we had seen them there actually before,
Yeah.
and we didn't figure that. And they said, they helped in the defense when the mutants attacked.
Figured y'all being this close, it would be a good idea to let people coming up behind you. So you're
Oh.
aware.
Just passing through.
All right.
What's up? Where y'all
Sunset.
headed? Oh,
Any action going on?
Oh,
I
crap.
mean-
Sorry, just woke up.
I mean, that's kind of why we're walking away from town, because there's nothing, there's nobody.
Nothing.
So,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tag with y'all.
All right.
Like I said, whenever y'all get a chance, I would suggest y'all talking to Arthur about what we
well,
had
no
talked
shit, we ran into Sav pretty quick.
about. Yeah,
Yeah.
stop these.
You
These
left
are
like
also-
fucking hours ago. You left like fucking
Well,
hours ago. How the fuck?
I
if
know,
we
but I
just
ran
now
into
caught
these
up
two
to you?
gentlemen, and I've been trying to figure out who lives in this little community right here, and it happens to be these.
That's actually true. Okay, hours is an exaggeration, obviously, but when I edited this episode, I had to cut down the amount of conversation that Sav and we had, like, because he was a talker. He liked to talk. Not as much as Harold or Motormouth Matrix, but there was a fair amount of conversation coming from him. So I had to actually crop a lot of this encounter. So not necessarily an hour, but I'm pretty sure it's like 20, 30 minutes of us just standing here talking to him.
These
No.
gentlemen. So
Ooh, I know that voice.
I believe I know that gentleman by his voice.
I recognize
Yeah,
it
yeah.
too.
Yes,
What's your name, man?
it's Cameron.
Cameron. Nice
Hello,
to meet you.
I'm
Wait,
Cameron.
yeah, he was with
That
me.
man in the hat was Robin Burley.
Oh my God, he
and,
remembers me.
I can't remember the other one.
No one remembers the other one.
No, because you're the
Sorry,
younger
it's-
one. I'm the one that matters, Fuck off. Yeah. Well, it's good to see you, Cameron.
Yeah. I guess you boys have it pretty good, settling here.
Yeah, we're sort of on the doorstep of New Duskar, and
I kind of like that, because that means that any trouble that comes through, you guys can let us know about it.
yeah, heads up.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
also they had someone put a note on their door talking about they had to pay taxes.
Yeah, it's right over there.
Oh,
Yeah, come over here, boy.
Taxes. Boy, oh boy, do I
Oh,
hate
hey,
the tax
I-
man.
Second highest one. The other ones
Tax
might
ah,
apply.
the collectors. Those assholes. They live further south, so they must have ventured up here
Huh.
for some reason.
You got
I
any
don't know
info on
who's-
them? Like how many runs with them? Or...
I don't know.
I've
All
heard
I
about
know
it, but
is
I don't
that
know
they,
who's doing it.
They sit on a bridge, and you cross that bridge, you pay taxes.
But you know,
I don't
all these
agree
guys
with
are
them
just like punks.
asking people for taxes that close to New Duscar, because this is
Yeah, it's
I
awful
don't
close.
either.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
that's
encroaching on your
hard.
territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The moment I see Arthur,
Yeah,
this is gonna be brought
man
up.
pops out a 40.
Very nice.
Yeah, this is disgusting.
I was thinking about that. If you see Arthur, let him know that the Burley brothers are here and like willing to like engage in
Abso-fucking-lutely.
cooperation. Yeah, because this is a problem for everybody, pretty much.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I don't
we're
know
not
about on the
gonna let
map,
that
but
shit
this
slide.
is still close to.
They want to come
y'all
down
are
here
still
and
in
try
our
to take shit from
county.
you. They're gonna come down here and find all of New Duscar sitting here fucking waiting for them.
Yeah.
You want to bet?
I like this guy.
We both took an instant liking to Sergei. He came across as slightly aggressive, but dependable and upfront honest. These were people you could rely on, and once again I felt like having to reevaluate the decision of settling here. At first,
I don't know why I said that he came across as dependable, because this was like the first time we met him. But I guess what I meant was like, he gave off an aura of a guy that if he said he was going to be there for you, he would be, you know? Then of course we had no idea if that was the case, but that was pretty much what I meant, you know?
First, I had taken an instant disliking to the constant firefights of the neighborhood. But with people like Sav, Cameron, and Sergei as our neighbors, it might not be such a bad place after all.
It's so interesting to see Sergei with his Russian flag on the Ratnik there. I don't know, is it a Ratnik? I'm not sure, but if they only knew what kind of a pariah Russia would be just a few years later, you know.
Pretty much. I mean, we can't promise that we're gonna see everything that passes by, but like if we
Well,
see
yeah,
anything,
obviously.
we'll,
I mean, we don't even catch everything that comes up there.
exactly. So, but absolutely, we'll have some kind of cooperation going on here.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know what our policy is, but I know damn well Arthur isn't going to be
He's
alright
not gonna
with that
stand
shit.
for it. If I was you, I would put a note there saying that that New
Like, if
Duscar
anything,
told
you're on
you
New
this was
Duscar's
in.
property.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
this is classified as our county. I wouldn't say city, but it's in our county limits. And
Now you said that they're based on some bridge. Where's that bridge at? You know, my
That means that if we have based ourselves within New Duscar County, like their county limits, it feels like we should really be sort of protected by New Duscar. And that was kind of what both me and Rory felt, or Medi, because I mean, at least here, it was like we felt like it was like, okay, good. Now we've contacted New Duscar. Now we've got some kind of line of communication established. Good. Now we're in the fold, you know? So this felt like a good development.
mind telling me.
I have no clue. It's just some bridge.
Somewhere to up.
Oh, yeah. And this is the first time since the map update of Deer Isle that I've ever seen this bridge. These two bridges, which together constitute a single bridge that connects the south Midland Waste region, I used to call it, with Starter Island. And of course, there was this little island here as well, with a house. I used to think interesting, interesting that there's one house here would be ideal for a base, but then I realized no, not really, because how much foot traffic would not be going over here, or would be going over here? It's like, yeah, you know.
Bridge on the south.
The only one I know of is Ben's Crossing. Otherwise,
I mean, I was gonna say Warren Cove.
Now I see it.
wait.
I've
Have
seen people running around down by Warren Cove with orange armbands on.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if
Didn't
that's
you get robbed near Warren Cove stuff? Or attempted to? On the way back from
yeah,
Stonington that time?
Yeah, that's the guy that, yeah, he's, I went by there. Somebody has took his body down, but I impaled him with a machete into a tree. He decided to rob me with an unloaded gun.
always fun, apparently.
Yeah.
Alright, I gotta ask you guys, like, is it a thing now for, like, faction people to not wear their armbands?
Yeah, this was pissing me off a little bit. I didn't want to go too hard, but I had to bring it up, you know.
You wear your armbands when you're going out in a big group. Because then you know you're not going to lose them. When you're uncertain if you're going to lose them or not, then you're not going to wear them.
That makes sense,
Yeah,
I
pretty much.
suppose, but it also kind of defeats the purpose. I
Yes.
mean, what if people see you and it's like they don't know who you are and you want them to know that you're New Duskar?
It didn't really make sense to me.
Nope.
If people didn't wear the armbands, how were friendly people supposed to know if you were in a faction if they spotted you first? How are hostiles to know that you actually don't want to fuck with this guy because he's with such and such? I
Exactly.
don't know. To me, it just made wearing armbands seem kind of pointless if you only ever wore them when you had massive numbers behind you, acting more like a tool of intimidation than identification.
This is something that I stand by even today. I think that, you know, if you are part of a group, you should wear the armbands like almost every time, like all the time. Except for if you're role playing that you're going for a swim or if you're going to sleep or something like that. But I feel like armbands, if you're really committed to a group, armbands should be mandatory. We had it in New Hope, I think, or I think I made it a rule that we always used. We always had to wear our armbands at all times, especially after Max Hatter started to mess with us. But I think Godly was the only one who kept forgetting to equip his armband. It's like every single time I met him, he was like he didn't have an armband because he always wanted to use, if it was the cigar or the pipe or something, or something that you put in the slot where the armband slot goes, or where the armband goes.
For the sake of our white armbands, however, it didn't really matter one way or the other, as we wore them in memoriam.
See, I don't ever bring mine when I'm going out by myself.
I still want to say that it did actually kind of matter, even though we just had white armbands. And I kind of wanted to argue that, okay, we can play a little bit loose with the white armbands. It's a good thing if we wear them, like we should wear them all the time. But it could also be excused that we're wearing them mostly for, you know, celebrating the memory of Dex or something like that. But then it gradually got more serious, and I actually am proud of the fact that both that Amedi and everybody else were taking it seriously and started wearing the armbands all the time, and that they actually took my design and made it. Well, you'll see. Well, actually, seeing as how this is commentary, you know, anyway. The fact that they took my design and actually made it into the Burleyville um, flag. They didn't have to, but I think it was Maddie's way to sort of honor like what we had talked about before and some such. Plus, I mean, hey, I don't think there was any alternatives to there weren't that many options, you know.
Because you're going out by yourself. We were
Yeah.
3 folks. You were just
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go all the way down to Stonington, so I'm gonna go right through Cushville.
Through Cushville.
I hope it's still in shambles. You know,
So,
I did check it. It should still be broken.
Yeah, they're a bunch of fucking idiots. Hey, did you guys hear what happened as far as
Yeah.
Cushville goes?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Arthur and Jose and all that.
we,
Yeah.
we ran into Jose actually shortly
Oh
before
no,
all
not
that.
that. What they just did recently.
Oh
Like
no.
literally just this morning.
No, no,
They
no.
robbed
What are you
Wayne.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Wayne with
They
the
robbed
yeah,
Wayne
yeah.
up at
Sab
the
was telling
war.
us about that.
Okay, yeah. Sav said that. That's interesting. It seems like they don't really
Really funny.
know who's connected with who. Like,
At this pace, they're gonna end up robbing an arbiter or a rider, and they're fucked.
yep. I promise
Like
you,
I said, dude, they just
everybody
picked
here
a,
would probably
like
have
I
to
said,
pick
dude,
me
they're
up
gonna
off the
get
floor
wiped off the map. Like I
if
said, they're gonna
if
get
they
wiped
attempt
off
to
the
rob.
map.
They keep stepping on each other.
Damn, cowboy. One of us has got to pick a time.
That was so good.
you guys about
That is worth
Right.
hearing again. Just listen. Like Sav talks, and then I think Sergey like chimes in, and they both keep talking, and then both stop, and then they don't hear that the other one like keeps talking, so they both start up again, and then they're like so.
I promise
Like
you,
I said, dude, they
everybody
just
here
picked
would probably
like I
have to
said,
pick
dude,
me
they're
up
gonna
off the
get
floor
wiped off the map. Like I
if
said, they're gonna
if
get
they
wiped
attempt
off
to
the
rob.
map. Damn, cowboy. One of us has got to pick a time.
And that was really that couldn't have been like a more perfect like comment.
I want to talk to you guys about Lamplight. We've never met those people. Who are they?
They're like a small group. I mean, they're like I don't know what, maybe 4.
There's like 7 of them.
Is there?
Yeah.
Has
They
he
normally
started
roam
recruiting?
around in a fire team of 4, but there is 7.
Alright.
Okay.
What are they all about?
They want to stop mutants, stop infected, and all that shit.
Okay.
They're like freedom fighters.
Okay.
Stopping mutants seems like should be everyone's fucking priority.
Mutual goal, yeah. And Cameron, you whatever.
Mind you, here we still, if I recall correctly, at this point, we hadn't really heard anything about mutants being anything but hostile. So the mutants the alphas, so to speak, the ones that were played by the admins, they were the first mutants to be introduced. They were like big, hulking, brute models. And they could they could jump like 100 feet into the air. They could like scale buildings. They could kill you with one swipe of their claw and whatever. Those mutants were initially just hostile. And but they weren't like, they didn't attack you. Instead, they always had like an ultimatum, like give me meat or I will or like pay us tribute basically. Now these mutants were of course the creations of Warlock in the story, and that would later develop into this whole complicated story about some mutants would you know imprint on Sky because she started. We'll get to that in like episode what 26, 27 something. when we talk to Skylar. Sorry, not Skylar. And that would suddenly make some of the mutants not so hostile. She would try to convert some of the mutants, and then that would be, and then Warlock would give all his serum, his gift to mankind to any player who wanted it, and well, we'll see how that goes. That was one of the best storylines I've ever been a part of, though. And I will say this. I am a bit sad over the fact that I chose to leave, but I really didn't have any choice. I was fucking burnt out when I left. When I couldn't do it anymore. I'd been editing and playing like nonstop for like half a year, and it was just like I was exhausted. I had to leave, but in the story, things were starting to get interesting because after I left, they really got Burleyville up and running, and to this day, I wish I had been a part of that. I do. I will say, I will go on the record saying that I wish I'd stayed. Even though I knew there was no way I was going to be able to do that because I was just so beat. I didn't do anything during those days, but play, edit, and sleep, and eat. Obviously, I was I was unemployed, so I did have time, but all the time went. Most of the time, like 90% of the time, went into editing, like all the raw footage that I'd recorded. That's kind of what we're doing today as well with Ego on Daisy Underground. It is tough to do it on your own. Ideally, you should be at least a team of two. I've always said that ever since these days. Ever since those days. Um, because it's really fun to have. I mean, I'll say this: the pro of the situation, not the con. The pro is that you have complete creative control, and I love that. I can design the episodes just the way I want it to. If there's like another person doing it, it would save on time, but I would also have to, like, I would not be able to manage everything on my like I would not be able to do it exactly as I wanted, even if they, like, kept in touch with me and like ran everything by me. It would still be, I don't know. It's just, I think it's my OCD. It has to be my OCD. That I do not want to give up any creative control. Have I done this much? Have I done this much this far? Then why should I allow anybody else to? Like, I don't know. Never mind. Um, but yeah, I will say that is one thing that I regret. That even though I was never gonna be able to do it, I still would have wanted to be a part of what followed.
Whatever happened to Eve?
I don't know.
What'd you lose her?
Oh,
No, no. I helped them move down south.
What? She moved south
wait.
again after moving
I
north?
thought you helped her moving north. Yeah.
Yeah.
She moved north. Did she like fucking go back south again?
Oh.
This was interesting because I don't know if you remember, but in episode 6 and 7, we encounter Eve for the first time, and then we help her move from the north to the south. And then after that, she was on Starter Island for a while, and then she decided to move north again to Sanctuary, and now we hear that she's moved back south again. It's like, what?
Yes, she likes to move.
Yeah,
Movable
women.
lady, I guess.
And you lost track of her after that?
Yeah, I didn't really see her after that.
I gotcha.
Good lady, though. Good lady.
Yeah, she
Taught me
was.
all about the sins I did.
You guys
Guess
just
you
about
I will say this about Eve and Tree. I guess you could say the lore master of survivalists. Tree, that was his name. That is his name on Discord. In their Discord, Tree was the one who played Warlock. Tree was Warlock, and he commented, and I will go on record to actually agree with this. Eve was a very good role player. She, as I understand it, she ended up like kind of after I left, she ended up in some kind of trouble and like OOC trouble and all that. But at least for my part, like and everything that I experienced with her, she did really well. Like she was really into that whole Christian godly, oh Lord, I have to pay, like it was very interesting running with her. And I think she got that from the fact that she also role played on Red M and 5M. I think her main role playing uh sort of setting was 5M. Um she did at one point call Sandy Bay. She called Sandy Bay Sandy Shores, which is in Grand Theft Auto. So it's like, yep.
already
Oh,
stabbing
they're
Ryan
Yeah.
before it
Yep.
starts
Yeah,
getting dark.
we're honoring the legacy of Motormouth Matrix.
Absolutely, I was thinking that too.
Very true, very true.
All right, well,
We don't want to hold you guys up for too long.
nah, we don't. At least now you know where we live. We live.
This episode is a little bit it's a little bit dragging in the first half of the episode because the first half of the episode we're basically just standing here outside our houses and encountering people. Now the new Duskarites are gonna like move away, but then they're gonna come back, and then what was it? Cronelli's gonna find us here, and we're gonna talk to him. After that's done, we're finally gonna move up to New Duskar and have our first encounter with Banana Man, which is worth the wait, trust me. But yeah, the first half of Banana Man drags on a little bit.
Live like practically next
Yeah.
door neighbors.
Eh,
Yeah, really.
Have fun.
Yeah, you too.
Be careful on this. What a nice group of guys.
Yeah, I think so too. Have you checked out?
I feel it's very interesting because yes, Medi and I, we had our differences on occasion, but when I watch this, it comes back to me, and I feel like it's crazy how well we clicked as a team. It's actually really really cool to like rewatch and see because it felt so natural with him. We had that story, we were being brothers. We could, for all intents and purposes, have been real blood brothers because we had that kind of vibe. I really enjoyed role playing with Maddie. It was really fun to do. I did have the luck to be able to role play with him again 2 years later when we did Cerberus. Unfortunately, he was a little bit different then because he was a little bit unhinged. With Mecklin was his new character, but I always enjoy his company. But I did really enjoy playing with him when he was Rory. Definitely.
All the not all of them, but have you seen like a lot?
I don't want to sound like a sentimental doofus or anything, but I almost want to say that like he completed me. You know, like we were so good for each other for the time. Like it went well in my opinion. We really worked off each other.
A lot of the changes to the map. One of them I just saw when we were talking to those guys. If you look down at Starter Island, see anything different on the left side or the west side?
That's the wrong. Yeah, I see it now. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a
Little assholes. Fuck.
there's a freaking bridge there now, so we don't actually have to like swim across.
Should've fucking been running that, man.
Yeah.
It would have been a little bit better though if the mod maker had made a bridge here instead, in my opinion, like up between Camp Bear and the larger island, because here you're still like, it's not too far away from Ben's Crossing. Um, I would have rather wanted to see, because this is a shorter, this is like further north as well, so you don't have to go all the way here and then up. But hey, it's his map.
So annoying. So annoying.
During our conversation, something in the corner of my eye caught my attention.
There was a cigarette smoke coming right from there.
A cigarette smoke. There was some cigarette smoke, I should say.
Oh, hello there.
Hello. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you if I did. I just didn't know what kind of people you were.
Yeah, I saw your smoke
Yeah.
there, and I got a little bit, whoa, okay.
Oh, yeah, my joint.
Yeah, exactly. What's your name?
Oh, my name is Cornelli. How about you?
Crinelli. Okay. I'm Robin Burley, and this is my brother Rory.
I will say this: I'm actually surprised I didn't ask him to clarify what his name was. How the hell did I pick up exactly what his name was? Cranelli is not a usual name that you hear in everyday language or on roleplay stream. Cranelli. How did I pick up exactly? Because you can hear me clearly say Cranelli. Okay, was he that like clear? Did I hear him that clearly?
Crinelli. Okay. I'm Robin Burley, and this is my brother Rory.
Oh,
Nice to
meet
meet
you guys.
Yeah, you too. Are you alone, or are you with a group?
Nah, I'm alone.
Okay, okay. Cool.
In the old days, did you run with anybody?
Trying to remember what their name was. I've met them like my second day in the island here, and there's about 5 of them. They're all like, of course, they're all dressed out in black, and like, oh yeah, we're a mercenary company. I think they're like Raven Rock, I think is what they call themselves.
A Ravenhold.
Oh, Ravenhold.
Yes, Ravenhold. I ran them for a few days, and then they kind of went quiet.
Wow.
That was Ravenhold. That was the only other sign of Ravenhold that we ever got. Ravenhold was a group that we heard about like just as we started playing on the server. And then like they disappeared and we never saw them again, but this guy had apparently been a part of them.
Oh, you go way back then. That's impressive,
I
actually.
do.
Well, this was a first. Ravenhold had been one of the older factions from when we had first returned to the island, and this was the first time we had met someone who had actually been a member of that group.
They stopped waking up and I guess went their own separate ways. So I
Gotcha.
unfortunately was still inside the hold. He
Oh,
had changed all the code locks,
oh shit.
and I couldn't get out. So I, I,
I'm sorry.
survived on stew and all kinds of stuff. And
Oh my
I'm
god.
like, well, yeah, yeah. By
Actually,
Mountainville.
god damn, you're a handsome son of a bitch, aren't
Yeah, I use the same model, and he's almost exactly dressed the same way. He's just missing the hat, and of course he's got like a plate carrier and whatnot. But other than that, we have the same color scheme. He's got the same beard. It's like, and that's why I'm gonna do this now with Rory.
Yeah,
man.
well, it takes one to know one. Look at you.
Got 2 brothers
Just
now,
upset 'cause
boy.
of his nose.
Yeah, I know.
Shit.
It's like his nightmare.
Girlfriend.
2 older brothers.
You know,
She drained all the life out of me. Her name was
Okay.
Octave.
Alright, this was getting old. I didn't want to do it, but god damn it, bro, you forced me to.
Okay, Rory, it's time we talked about that. Listen, once and for all, dear brother
He
of
doesn't
mind, if that actually happened, then I've got a question for you, okay? You with me?
Okay, alright. Alright.
Why would you even be proud of the fact that you've dipped your dick into my sloppy leftovers?
Rory smirked, but it was a fact that after this, I would finally get some peace and quiet, as my baby bro would not mention Roxanne ever again.
That is a truth with some modification. He actually would bring her up again, like once or twice. Um, this was not like as final as I would have liked it to be, but I made it so that in the show it actually is final, because it felt like that was a good place to sort of end it, for all people involved. But I do think, if I recall, like I think he brought it up maybe twice or three times or something like that, from here, between here and when I left, probably, maybe mentioned it in passing or something like that. But yeah, I wanted to like really just leave it here. Now, stop. Let's move on.
I've seen Game of Thrones. I know what's acceptable in these.
All right,
Well, boys, it's been a fun conversation, but
Yeah. you need
I
your
gotta
nap time.
I gotta go into this house, and I gotta do some splash time. Wait, what was your name
See-
again, man?
Cornelli.
Cornelia. Okay, okay. What remember you? You're a funny guy. I like you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
thank you.
actually do
appreciate
that
that.
too. That's yeah,
Like
contacts on the
sexual
road.
orgy.
A couple guys on the
Yeah,
road.
look at
I think
that.
it's Duskar guys.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them's carrying a metal.
Yeah, why the
Yeah.
hell would they be walking all the way over here with them? Unless they were Duskar guys.
That's true. That's true. Possibly Sergey.
Yeah, it looks like.
Oh yeah, it's
Sergey,
Cameron.
Cameron, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there until nightfall.
Possibly, you might be.
I will
We
not
can't
reach
stop
it in
talking to
time,
people.
man. I gotta keep moving.
I believe in you. You see them guns? That's a fucking stone cold killer right there.
Yeah.
You got this, Cameron. We believe.
Yeah. Here comes another guy.
Oh.
There
Hello.
is.
It was another one of the new Duskar members we had encountered earlier.
Hey man, you late to the party?
What's
I
up,
know.
man?
Yeah, I reckon those guys have already gone back, haven't they?
Yeah, I never
Yeah,
got your
they're way
name.
down the road.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Ryan Jones.
Rowan.
Ryan. R-Y-A-N.
Ryan. Okay, gotcha. Very
Yeah.
good, very good. All right, good. I'm trying to learn everybody's names, especially people I live
I don't know why
close by.
everyone calls me Rowan.
Yeah.
I've been called that like multiple times now.
Okay. Rowan is.
I think it's because he has that accent, and he went like, "My name is Ryan, Ryan, Rowan." Like,
It's actually one of my brothers whom we haven't actually found yet. That's why me and my brother.
yes, that is a whole thing as well. I was trying to keep it open for other people to join the Burley family. That was actually our main thing that we started out with. Our main drive for playing on this server was that we wanted to find more of our family members. And as we included people in our group, they would like magically become family members that we just found them. I'm not sure how that would work with the fact that most of the people we found probably already had their own story, their own character. But, I didn't really think of that. I was like, this is an awesome idea. It was a kind of interesting concept. But yeah, I keep talking about the rest of our family members, because I kept wanting to remind the audience that, these people might show up one day, you know. So I labeled myself the eldest, like Robin Burley, and then Rory Burley was the youngest, and then in between us we had like everybody else. So if I'm remembering correctly, we had Rowan and Roy, and then we had Kathleen, which, you know, every male member starts with an R, but every female, like that doesn't matter, you know. So Kathleen was like our sister, and Roy was second to youngest, and he was like prone to throw a tantrum or something like that. He was my idea of Roy was that he had a hard time keeping his emotions in check, and Rowan would have been the complete opposite. Like he was the calm and collected one, that never raised his voice. Um, and then I had been sort of the troublemaker for running with the side canon was that, or my head canon was that I'd been a part of. I ended up in the wrong crowd when I grew up. Ended up with someone called Gregory, who was a smuggler and all that, and I'd ended up in a bad crowd. But then now, as our family's missing and all that, Robin has like sort of taken on the responsibility of being the adult, so to speak, which he handles sometimes and sometimes not so well. And Rory, of course, being the youngest in our family, I had an initial vision of him being kind of maybe a bit naive, a bit clueless and whatever. But Mehdi took that role and made it completely his own. Obviously, like that was his creation, which is completely fine. And it ended up being a much better character than, you know, the one I had initially envisioned. Um, but that was basically our family. I think I named our father Robert Burley because he was also on R. And then we had Jimmy Jack, which was our estranged uncle, who was like the bad boy of the family. Um, and the rebel, hence why he doesn't start with an R, you know? Um, One thing before I continue this, I also want to just dip into this fact, since we're talking about the Burley family. I was at one point I was playing on Banov, another server. Don't remember what it was called now, but it was also an RP server that used the map Banov, and I was seriously contemplating playing another Burley brother on that one. This was like maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple of months after I'd left Survivalists, because I was kind of done with Daisy, but not playing it. I was done with editing and creating a series, but I wasn't. Kind of felt like I still want my fix, but I don't want to just go on to any random PvP server because that's not what I want to play DayZ for. So obviously I went on an RP server, and then I had the idea, you know what? Maybe Rowan Burley has ended up on this map. So maybe I can play Rowan Burley here and motivate his existence on this map by having his motivation being that he's looking for his brothers. It's every time when I create a character for RP, it's always a character that's looking for something. Partly because I always want it to be like I always like a character that has like an ongoing story. You know, a serial arc, if you will. I have never found characters that are just living from moment to moment interesting. Um, I have toyed with the idea of just, you know, going on to an RP server and being all like, oh, hey, I'm here. Can I join you? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just here messing around. That to me is not interesting. There's no story there. There's no, there has to be something, more substance. Hence why all my characters have always included searching, like a never-ending search for something. Um, Ego was looking for, well, no, Ego was actually a joiner. He didn't really have a purpose until the end of Adventures at New Hope, when he started his quest to find Max Hatter. See, there, he's looking for someone. Robin Burley is looking for his family. What else? Cerberus, the Cerberus, Logos. Yeah, Logos. No, Logos wasn't looking for something. He was kind of content where he was with where he was. Being a part of Cerberus was, yeah, he just wanted to protect them and all that. He wasn't looking for something. That's true. But then nowadays, I've gone back to Ego, and he's on Daisy Underground. He's still looking for Max Hatter, and not only that, but now he's looking for someone else as well. So he keeps looking. No, it's actually 3 people he's been looking for. The last episode, he was looking for Max Hatter, he was looking for Raven, and he was also looking for the Anointed One. So that was 3 people that he was looking for. Do you think I might have overdone it a little bit? But yeah, I was gonna say something else. No, let's keep going.
They came back to the island. We're trying to
It'll
find
come
their
back to me.
family. We have a couple of siblings
Oh, keep a
that's
lookout
still
for
unaccounted
Roland.
for. Well, thank you. Yeah, okay, so
You guys
Ryan.
have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Take care, and we'll see you again.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say that as well. I've been toying with the idea, because here's the thing. Max Hatter, as the eternal nemesis of Ego, does actually not exist anymore. There's nobody who plays Max Hatter. There's nobody on Doug that plays Max Hatter. And I know that eventually is going to create a problem. Max Hatter was indeed a real character, being played by another player back in 2021. Before this, when we were on Divinity and we played New Hope, Max Hatter did terrorize us, but we never met him. Not once. We only, Zai met him, I think. Yeah, Zai met him and said that he dropped a bag of meat outside our base. And then he was giggling, and then he just took off. But the only other traces we found of him were notes. It's a little bit hard to make a story on that. So I've been toying with the idea of actually trying to find someone who likes to roleplay, who could actually shoulder that role. Play that psycho cannibal that has it in for me, but doesn't want to kill me, but who wants to torment me, like in Daisy Underground. I haven't found anyone really. Obviously, I would have to try, and that would have to go by me, because I have a very specific vision of who Max Hatter is. But it's mainly just bullet points. Bullet points, this, and this. Oh, and watch, like, the last episode of Adventures of New Hope, so you'll know what's going on, Okay, let's go.
Yeah, I'm sure you.
Sorry, I've been talking so much tonight. I'll try to rein it in a little bit.
Speed up, bro.
We spent some time talking about stuff that had happened recently, like the mutant attacks and bandit raids. The overall vibe from Cornelli was that he was a level-headed, nice guy who we'd be really interested in staying in contact with. He told me that he was sort of a self-assigned private investigator, And considering the fact that we had no intel on the whereabouts of either Warlock or Herald, I figured I'd give him a small assignment for all the good it would do us.
Me and my brother are looking for someone, and they're very hard to find. We're actually looking for two people, but the main person we're looking for is the guy known as Warlock.
Give me a second. I'm gonna write this down. Funny enough, have pen and paper on me like all times. So, looking for Warlock.
I really like this guy. I remember when we met him here, he gave off a very calm and stable like aura or air about him. You know, like you can just tell he's very mature in his behavior. He's got jokes, you know, but it's some of the guys can be very like all over the place. This guy was very calm, collected, methodical. I did click with him the one time I met him, which is here. Because yeah, spoiler alert, we would never see him again. But it kind of worked itself into the story as well because it feels. I actually even comment on it next episode that we might have actually accidentally set the collective on Crenelli, and they sort of had him disappear. You know.
Yeah, we wanna know where we can find him because we've got some personal things we talk to him about. But this goes without saying, of course. Don't like drop our names or anything. Just
Right.
if you find
So,
anything,
just
let us
just in
know.
case I do get like stopped and they search my paper, do you want to give me like some kind of, I guess, pseudo name? That way, if they see it, they don't know who exactly it is. Just basically like a fake name.
It was only one name I could think about. Like I didn't want to use any like bullshit name. I wanted it to be like a name that sort of had a connection to me. And this name had already been involved in like identity protection, so I might as well give it to him as well.
The one that I would know you by.
You can call me the voice of the South.
There you go.
Voice of the South.
Yeah.
I know, it was kind of risky dropping it in the open like this, but I felt pretty convinced that Corneli would keep it all confidential, and seeing as how the Pathfinders were long gone, who was gonna care anyway?
Speaking of that, my radio broadcasts as the voice of the South. Um, for all I know, they impacted nothing. They meant nothing. At one point in the story, I think in episode 19, the Bastion, Corey says that he heard me, that he heard my broadcast at one point, but then he actually off camera told me that no, I didn't hear it. I just said it so that it would like, come across in the story. Um, he, however, he might have not heard it, but I do know for a fact that when I'd done my broadcasts, before like clicking off the radio transceiver, I would hear like, uh, hello? Huh? So I do know that some people heard it at least, or one or two or whatever. But they most likely did not connect it like to any story or to me.
Do you know what group Warlock is with?
Warlock is sort of the source behind the mutants. He is, yeah, as we've been told, Warlock, he was with a group known as the Collective. I think he was
Oh god, I remember those guys.
yeah, he was the leader of the Collective, I think. And
That's what I was afraid you were gonna say.
yeah, I know. That's why we're trying to be as careful as we can be with this. But he has a lot to answer for.
Oh yeah, no, I don't doubt that one.
But yeah, and of course, needless to say, this needs.
I've been thinking about it. Oh, actually, I thought about it just now. Like, I was thinking, like, what did I have planned if we ever encountered Warlock? Like, if we ever came face to face with him. I know for a fact that once we set out to find Warlock, I had an idea of how it would go down. We would find him. Rory would become like completely like overloaded with emotion and want to kill Warlock, while I would like listen to his explanations, and maybe then and there would be something in me which would have changed a little bit. That was as far as I had thought how that encounter would go. I don't know if it would be a change for good or for evil, but you know, at some there is a reason as to why Rory wants revenge and I want answers. I want to know why Warlock has done this, and most importantly, I want to know if there's a chance that we can come back from like that there is somebody still in the zombie, still in the mutant. And then of course the zombie and mutant aren't necessarily the same thing, but like Warlock is the only one who's experimenting with this. And as we find out later, Warlock might have been even the cause of the Z virus pandemic. So that's as far as I thought. Like, but obviously it was very incredibly naive and ridiculously optimistic of me to even think that we would get a face to face with Warlock himself. Because Warlock was a lore character, and Warlock would only appear when it was like, you know, these big events, big story moments on the server. So I remember in retrospect, it's like I kind of feel like it was ridiculous of me to think that we would ever get like a face to face with him.
To be very discreet.
Oh, most certainly. That's why very important that I was asking for your like a little pseudonym.
Yeah. Well, make sure to keep in touch, man.
Oh God, yeah, I know, sure, man.
Such a
Definitely see
handsome
what I could do
devil
about
like
that.
you.
Same goes for you, my bud.
Yeah. Good luck to you, man. I'll talk to you later.
Hey, you too, buddy.
Take care.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
Talk to you
Yeah,
later.
be safe.
You too.
We never did.
I will. Bye bye.
Bye.
I don't know what happened to him. I don't know, because I feel like if he didn't stop playing, he should have come back on occasion to Burleyville, because that it felt like he took that kind of seriously. But I think he was there for a while and then he just left. I don't know. I could be wrong. You know.
Hey, man.
Hey.
Yeah, there was some gunshots coming in that direction, and it sounded like it came like from like on the bridge, so it was fairly close, I think. What?
Want to go investigate?
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that.
As the shots had come from New Duskar.
Okay, brave of me to not even bring a rifle. What am I bringing with? I think I only had like a sidearm, like a Kunan or something.
We figured we'd make the short stint across the bridge and also see if Arthur was awake while we were there. Having closer ties to our immediate neighbors across the water could prove to be vital in the future.
Oh yeah,
As we
Kunan.
strolled into New Duskar, we could see a guard posted at the main gate.
Hey there.
Hey there. How we doing today?
I'm alright.
Right on. You on guard duty?
Hey
Hey,
not.
Yeah.
Michael. Right?
there. No, I'm not Michael.
Juniper.
Oh, really? Okay.
That is a little bit embarrassing. I met Juniper once and it was completely dark. I think that was in episode 21, like 2 episodes ago. And I didn't even speak to her for that long. I think it's a her, because Juniper, I feel like, is a feminine name. But I can't really tell from the tone of the voice. sound like Michael, right? That's Juniper. Okay,
Jesus. New Duskarites always look alike, I'm
That's
sorry.
awkward.
well, that's
That's
racist.
racist.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Ah, we're doing good. We heard some shots coming from this direction.
Just wanting to make sure everything's safe up here in New Duskar. You know,
Yeah,
make sure
everything's
everyone's okay.
fine. People are just being stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's right.
I got you. Well,
So,
we're the Burley brothers. We live right across the
oh,
water here. It's beyond the bridge.
are you the guys that have been getting robbed by people with orange armbands or getting taxed?
Not,
Well,
not
yeah,
robbed,
there's a guy
but
there's a guy
yeah.
that threatened to tax me, but yeah.
We don't know if it was like orange armbands, but we did get a note on my
Yeah, we
brother's
don't know
door.
anything about the orange armband.
Any group name or anything like that?
The collectors.
The collectors, apparently.
Yeah, the collectors. Not the collective.
No.
Yeah, different group. No, not the collective, yeah.
If they do come back, if they have orange armbands on, call us down there. We will come take care of them. We have.
Oh, only if they have orange armbands on? Really? That was something I feel like I could have actually questioned a little bit, but no.
All right.
Right on.
Yeah, we spoke to what was that guy's name?
Yeah, Sergey and Cameron
Guy up
and
there in the tower.
what is that? You, Sergey?
Is that Sergey up in the tower?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I told you I was
Yeah.
dressed down.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, man.
Didn't
Hard to
really
tell.
see you there.
Hard to tell. You know, maybe the gas mask muffles your voice.
Honestly, I want to say something else here from the standpoint of RP. It's very boring, most likely, but I really appreciate people who just role play being on guard duty, because that gives, like, I understand that must be really boring, just standing up in a guard tower looking around, looking out and all that, but that is, first of all, it's very realistic. That's what, a fortified settlement would probably have, like armed guards standing sentry. And gives the world like a sense of normalcy. Like it gives the world, the world that you're trying to, like, the RP, a sense of validity, that it is actually, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain, but it like fills it up with people who are doing a job, but not necessarily a job that is super fulfilling, but it is a job that needs to be done, So I really appreciate it whenever somebody role plays being on guard duty. Hell, I would role play being on guard duty because it doesn't really, demand that much of you, except not lose the attention to your surroundings, Okay.
A little bit. I'm sorry, bro.
Possibly.
You're good.
Yeah. So we basically wanted to look around a little bit here and maybe visit the Salty Cougar and also see if Arthur's around.
We can always go check out his house.
Well, happy guarding, Sergey.
Have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too, guys.
And I'll toss a beer up to you when I come
You got a beer?
back. No.
I like that. Just that little joke, in between brothers. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I heard later on that Sergey did not appreciate having to sit in that tower. Like, that was part of what eventually would have him switch groups. I think he would join Lamplight after this. And Lamplight served him much better, his style of gameplay.
If y'all need any medical supplies, we are willing to trade them.
All right. What do you guys need?
We we don't really need anything unless you have like NBC gear on trade.
Ah, well, sorry.
While strolling through town, Juniper told us about a chemical spill which was the main concern of New Duskar at this time. As we listened to her words, we passed through a drove of people whom I suspected were the ones Sergei had been referring to.
And guess which one is the Banana Man? Kind of easy to guess.
These guys were all over the place.
So, up by Bayville and down by Camp Eagle, there's some like green gas. It's like a floating chemical that's on the water and
Was Jones up there?
Yeah,
Jones is there.
It's a Russian tanker or whatever that's spilling chemicals out into the water, and we're trying to figure out a way to deal with the burst pipe.
Oh.
Where was this?
I
By
have
Camp
no
Eagle.
clue, but the chemicals are spotted by
Oh.
Bayville and Camp Eagle.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Mark my words, there's going to come a time when everyone's going to need NBC gear because everyone's going to be trying to get into that fucking that area.
Oh yeah, I
Deal
know.
with
Some
all
people
that
that are
shit.
door would be open if the Cougar's open, so
Oh,
All right.
not open right now.
I don't. Yeah, so we were actually planning on maybe starting up a business down by where we live. We might be doing like a sort of a courier service.
That's another thing I regret we didn't actually do. We could have done that a little bit better, but to be fair, we were kind of, at least I don't know about Maddie, but I was kind of all over the place with my ideas. I wanted to start a settlement, start a courier service. I wanted to find my family. It was like so many ideas all at once, kind of, messing me up a little bit. So I wanted to try everything. We also had, before we relocated, we had an idea about opening, I had an idea about making my house into an inn, sort of like where somebody could, I would like close off a certain section and then of my house, and then people would be able to pay me to sort of like, sleep there for a preset amount of days, and it would be kind of like in how they had the tavern in Sanctuary. But yeah, there were a lot of ideas that was going through my mind, and I feel like our strongest idea, at least before Burleyville came into existence, was actually the courier business. I felt like that was like the idea that we had most fleshed out, because once we start talking to Skylar in episode 27, I want to say, then we start actually, hammering it out, like fleshing it out and working down the details with her.
In the future.
I think people.
But that never happened. Again, like needless to say, but yeah.
Oh, that's good.
If you want, you can speak to Skylar. Maybe she could see if she can let y'all set up somewhere in town. Like a small, like in the market over there. There's you could like use that for
official business
and all that if you want.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Skylar was another person that was, or a character that was deeply rooted into the lore of the server. She was a lore character just as much as Warlock was a lore character. Both of them were heavily tied to the lore. So it was a good bet that if you found Skylar, you'd find like 1 billion people just chasing her around because they knew that whatever she was doing, she was going to be, she might be attacked. She might be contacted by someone. There was going to be stuff happening. And you see that in the episode Skylar, again, which I think is episode 27 or 26. How they just follow her around like a freaking tail on a dog,
But you'd have to speak to her. She's the one in charge of trade in the town.
Ah, okay. Is she awake right now or not?
I have no clue. Okay. Nobody tells me anything.
Gotcha.
So, getting a hold of Skylar would be our next step, though that would most likely be easier said than done. Skylar was a legend in these parts, a woman who had walked the lands with her guitar, comforting the weary along the roadside, and who had garnered a reputation which preceded her. She was the founder of the Salty Cougar Tavern, a place which had become a focal point of various interests.
This image was, again, like whenever I talked about a certain character in depth, I would use like an image that their player had uploaded to the Discord. So this very image here was actually something that Skylar herself had uploaded in her character bio on the Discord. So I felt like it was appropriate to like have a little bit of a fading in out kind of vision of her during the narrative phase.
Her legend had spread all throughout Deer Isle.
I will say though that the style of the image, that was me, like the filter, the strange kind of crayonic, or I don't know what you call it, but like it was actually more of a normal picture, although I don't think it was a normal picture of a normal girl. I don't know. I don't remember actually. But do know that I added on to this filter, which makes it look a little bit cartoony. In retrospect, I kind of feel like that was a little bit too much. I could have done without that, but you know.
And it was a fact that she was well liked by almost all factions, but she was also a target for people who like to take advantage of other people's generosity. As a result, people were drawn to her like moths to a flame, and as such, she was almost always caught up in something, being on the road, caring for specific characters, or away on some relief mission, or whatever. Consequently, getting an audience with her would be tricky, but I made it one of my goals nonetheless.
Yeah, we heard shots coming from this way, so we wanted to check it out and make sure you guys were alright.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. I heard it earlier too.
And here we go. Here is the introduction of the Banana Man. Enjoy.
Something about that suit gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Very visible, though.
The Banana Man was wearing an armband with a cowboy hat.
This is where the title comes from. I don't know, but I just felt like in the narrative to call him the Banana Man, a slight hint of being like a bit derogatory. But like, you know, like Banana Man because he's wearing a yellow NBC suit.
The symbol of the Highwaymen, a group which we hadn't had any contact with before.
Oh shit. Oh. Sorry about that.
No
Okay.
worries.
You having some deep philosophical thoughts? Yeah, we all go there.
Very.
Are you one of the highwaymen?
Yeah, that'd be alright.
Cool. What's your name?
I'm Jones. I'm the leader.
Oh,
Hello,
okay.
Joe.
Where were you
Oh,
guys
hi.
based? You were in Mountville? Mountainville?
Yeah, Mountainville. It's right across the river here in a factory.
Oh, yeah. I just get it confused with like Montville.
We're the Burleys. This is my brother.
Yeah.
My second in command, Robin.
Shut up. Okay, you want some? Seriously?
Good to meet y'all. Oh shit.
I'm gonna step up.
Step down, bitch. Yeah.
Do it.
Now, you always know how to make me uncomfortable. Like a good fight, that's proper, but then you turn your back to me and show me your ass. That's like, okay.
Comfortable with his sexuality.
No, just
That's how
shut.
it's done, son.
Lord.
Got some more friends coming.
All right.
Whoa, this guy.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, my friend.
Hey there.
How y'all doing?
How you doing?
We're
You
doing
them one of
good.
them there Illuminati fellers?
Who?
You one of them Illuminati fellers?
What's the
Oh, no,
Illuminati?
wrong person. Them damn triangle people.
Oh, arbiters.
Just
Oh,
about the
I'm not-
arbiters.
I like
Triangle
your
now.
helmet, brother.
Thank you.
So who else lives in this town? Is just you folks?
maybe you shouldn't talk with your mouth full of stuff.
Yeah, sorry, sorry, been gawking on that monster slung. Sorry. Oh, you know, my boy, we got to see it through. We got to see it through. But like, who
Yeah.
else lives up in the town besides y'all? Like,
We don't actually live here, but this is New Duskar.
Yeah.
This
I
guy
know.
right
Yeah,
here
I
and
got a
people.
lot of folks.
Us
Yeah.
Burleys, we have the
I know.
white
Big
armbands. The
armbands.
rest of the guys live here, I assume.
The guys in the black with the triangles on their armbands, they're the arbiters.
Those
They
are
live out
Illuminati. You gonna
towards
oh
watch
yeah,
out.
purgatory.
I heard about them sons of bitches. I heard about them a lot.
Yeah, be careful with them.
I told them I would bitch slap them, and they had guns, and I got scared.
That's probably a good way to get robbed when you leave this town, to be frank.
As the fellows were chatting away and getting to know one another, my eyes suddenly caught sight of a familiar armband, a white and blue armband.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm afraid to get in the cold. When
Roy.
y'all kept coughing, I'm scared.
Bastion's here.
Yeah, what's up? Bastion
I gotta
here.
guess.
Yeah.
Bashing's nice. I like.
In retrospect, I got a little bit too excited here. I should probably not have blurted it out here. Every time I see this, I keep thinking like, shut up, man. Just take him to the side and say that. Not that these people had any beef with Bastion or Harold, but they could have, you know? So that was a little bit like, whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, I wish I'd just handled that a little bit better, you know? But, it turned out all right.
Damn.
Me too. Where are they?
Down the road.
I know they were.
Is that them on the rock?
Someone.
They're being guarded by, or Harold is being guarded by lamplight soldiers as well. So it's an interesting rendezvous here.
Pulled a gun out, so I'm a bit anxious, to be honest.
It turned out to be Harold himself.
Harold!
Harold.
Oh god, we haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a long while.
Yeah, this is Robin Burley and my brother Rory.
Burley!
Yeah.
I've been meaning to talk to you guys, actually. I've been
Alright.
meaning to find you guys.
Nice, nice.
Hey, how's Corey doing?
Yeah.
This was actually the first time I felt like I was included in something big. Because here we come, like two brothers, we're not really that geared. And we meet Harold, who's like, Harold was also, he was not necessarily a lore character, but Harold was really deep into a lot of the storylines. He was not as lore vital as Skylar or Warlock, but Harold was one of those people that you knew about, you know? And he became a good friend of ours. And finding him here again after a fair amount of time that we hadn't seen him, and finding him here guarded by lamplight people, and then he says like, Burley family, I've been meaning to talk to you. And then he, like, as you'll see, he pulls us to the side and wants to talk, you know, share some confidential information with us. That moment right there made me feel big. You know, it made me feel important. You know, not to say that it like inflated my ego, but it made me feel like we were a part of something now, you know?
Yeah.
He's doing well enough. I set him off from the oaths. There's been a few issues you could.
Yeah, we thought we'd pop down and see how you guys were, but lo and behold.
Jamestown.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the hell did you go? It's like a completely different flag flying there, and we're like, oh, okay.
They used to own the castle. They showed up in force. We initially tried to. Well, we gave them most of it back because it was their home originally, and then they kept getting more and more of a hassle and more and more, you know, threatening. And so I figured it'd be best to just pull out instead of fighting over something worthless.
Right, I'm gonna hit the hay here. I'll see you there.
Alright, take care.
See you, friend.
If you two would come with me and Gil here, I'd like to inform you of a few things, because I could use a few.
Sure thing.
I don't think that way is gonna work.
Here I was like, I almost wanted to look at Banana Man and anybody else watching us walk away and be like, "Yep, we're gonna hear some shit now." I felt a little bit like cocky in that way, but it was fun. It was fun.
Finally, a familiar face. After the storm, we'd had no word of Harold's whereabouts, and we'd wanted to get a hold of him for some updated intel and information exchange.
And it felt good because it was also uh, Lamplight's first time meeting us. Not just us meeting Lamplight for the first time, which I don't think it was either. I think I met Charon 2 episodes ago, but it was very briefly. It was the guy who told us to, like, there's still an apocalypse going on when we were talking in the pitch black. When I met Juniper, actually. But it felt good because since this was like a fair amount of Lamplight members observed this, it felt like because Harold was, being familiar with us, it felt like we automatically imprinted onto Lamplight as well that, you can trust us. We're friends with Harold. We're good. We got Harold to vouch for us. That also felt good.
What we were about to hear was apparently at least semi confidential, as Harold seemed to want us to get away from prying ears.
But we are pursuing a lot. We've been pursuing anti-mutant works for a while now. We were doing it when Jamestown decided to fucking come back and start acting hostile, which is why we pulled out so we could focus on the important stuff.
Alright.
As a note on that, there's a growth on the castle these days.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's on the tower I was living in. It appeared the day after I moved.
It's actually pretty interesting. I was speculating a little bit that the mutant came for you because you told us that you'd been injected like a while back with something from Warlock.
Again, in retrospect, here I felt like that was a little bit too brash to say. Like it was blurted out. Here was another situation where I said something without thinking about it because I still wanted to talk about this with Harold, but I did not go down to whisper. And it felt like this might be confidential information. The fact that Harold has been injected with the serum might be information that should not be shared lightly. So, in retrospect, whenever I see this as well, I also go like, oh, can't believe I just said that like that loudly and that openly. I should have waited with that and be all like, maybe whisper over by the wall or something like that.
Yeah, serum.
Yeah.
We haven't found a. We've collected a mutant blood sample. We've got a mutant claw. We've got a lot of lab equipment that we've been handing off, and we've got samples from the biomass. But we haven't been able to kickstart the research yet, as all we've got is an engineer on a nuclear power plant. So I've been looking for scientists.
I didn't realize that. I didn't think about that. No, oh yeah. I think, you know what? I think Gil was the first one that coined the term Banana Man. Come to think of it here, because then when I edited this episode, even though I'm saying it first in the timeline as the narrator, I think that was influenced by the fact that Gil called him Banana Man here. So Gil should probably take the credit for that, or I'm gonna give him the credit for that.
Hell, I'm invisible.
No, you're not. Like
You are yellow.
God, Jones. I loved Jones in this episode at least. I didn't meet him that many times, but in this episode, Jones was so much fun. And I remember posting this episode on the Survivalist Discord, and Jones was like super excited and he loved seeing this. He also commented on the video on YouTube as well. Here, actually, wait, I can show you. I think. Yeah, Klasron, that was Jones. Good times, we've come a long way. It be I, Banana Man. Good work on the video, homie. And then this guy, I'm sitting right next to the Banana Man in IRL. So both of these guys were actually watching this episode together. I love that. To bring people together, you know.
Jesus.
You've got collaborators from all over.
I'm genuinely happy that I gave them a few chuckles out of this, actually. That I brought them some amusement, you know.
Smile. I was talking to Gil to bring him up to speed because we've been close friends but never allies.
I gotcha.
But I more than expect us to be able to work together. We've got a few people from New Duska. We've got a handful of people down south, and then some people up north as well.
Harold was sort of our go-to guy when it came to constantly being on the lookout for Warlock. Because Harold, we didn't have any luck finding Warlock. The only source of information we could go to was Harold, because Harold always came with some new information about this and about that. Eventually, it would turn out that Harold would be kind of a blabbermouth, because it would take forever for him to get to the freaking point. But everything he provided with us is like, it was just gold. And because of him, we had, you know, continuing updating intel on the Warlock situation. Here is actually where we most of all talk about Warlock and theorized identity of who Warlock is. So this is where we go most in depth into who Warlock is.
I gotcha. I only heard about Lamplight just the other day, actually. I'd never heard about you guys before.
Well, they
We tend to keep it that way.
Yeah.
But one of the big issues is right after that biomass appeared, me and the engineer went into the biozone. These guys have gone in as well, and they can tell you there's growths all over.
We're here, it's expanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're building a hive there because they feed off of the radiation from what we've been able to put together with the research and what.
Yeah, what they're talking about is essentially on Deer Isle, in the middle of the western big island, there is this biohazard zone, which is an old, kind of rundown nuclear power plant. You can clearly tell from the big cooling towers. And I think some maps have like a radiation zone or whatnot. On Survivalist, it was a biohazard area, meaning that if you went in, you would be subjected to like something akin to radiation. I don't remember exactly if it was the exact same thing, but you would be poisoned over time. But then, as soon as Warlock handed out his gift to mankind, and players volunteered to take the serum and actually become mutants, then they could actually venture into the biohazard zone and not only survive but actually thrive, because the mutant players could not eat normal food. They would just puke it up. The only way you could survive as a mutant was either to stay close to the biohazard zone, and I'm not talking about, you know, having that being your anchor. You could leave it if you wanted to, but at some point you would have to return, because over time your health would start to drain. Or you could eat human meat. So either you could be a good mutant and just stay in the biozone, or you could be a bad mutant, shoot people, and eat meat to survive. I really think that was a very clever and very cool way how the admins on Survivalists developed that story. You know, everybody felt involved in it because we could all pick sides. Do you take the mutant serum, become a mutant, and, you know, change the rules completely for how you survive, but also become a pariah to all normal people? I mean, you would actually have to try to befriend people if you would be a friendly mutant. Or would you just not take the serum and start hating on mutants? In the worst case scenario, wanting to exterminate every mutant. It was a very cool dilemma. To this day, I will say the story on Survivalist was probably the best story, the best server-wide story I've ever taken part of. Even though we didn't really do that much when I was there, but we did role play as much as we could, and we, to this day, I stand by it. We did great for what we did. Everything, it doesn't have to be like action all the time. I feel like we developed our characters more than just, we went beyond just, the exchange of gunfire. Sorry, again, I'm rambling.
What if we got a shit ton of lead and started to make some stuff out of it? Maybe try to section off the radiation.
This very animation right here, leaning on the wall that I'm doing here, is one of those animations that I would wish that Daisy Underground would adopt, because it's very cool for roleplay purposes.
The reactor that's emitting.
True. Well, I mean that, but I was also thinking maybe controlling it to.
I mean, Gil is on the wall. He's also doing one of those animations. It comes from the same mod. He's squatting down right now. That's also from that mod. So those animations, I wish Doug would be able to make use of them. Though I don't think they're allowed to repack that mod, which unfortunately makes it unusable on Doug. But I wish this was a part of Doug.
A point where you can condense where the growths are happening. Perhaps maybe allow them to grow in a certain place.
They don't require radiation to grow, it looks like, because they have appeared, like one appeared in my tower, what their growths at the bunker. They mostly seem to be targeting places where either the mutants are active or people who were injected or had past relations with Warlock.
Yeah, about that, has anybody seen Warlock or heard from him, like?
Again, it was very naive of me to think that we would be able to track him down this way. But I mean, I was also partly in character. Like Robin would have. This is a question that was completely legit from Robin's point of view, But from a game perspective, from a lore perspective, we would not be able to just find him like that. That's what they're saying here as well. I think they're gonna be saying like he's not just gonna show up. It's gonna be like
We're after him, but what I know is this: he's doing what he always does. It's what he did with the collective. You won't find him in the open unless he has an escort of heavily armed.
Yeah. Basically, what he's saying is you won't find Warlock until he's part of a sort of an event. If he chooses to show himself, then something big is going to go down,
That you cannot stop.
After Harold had pretty much confirmed that nobody really knew if Warlock was still human or not, Rory looked at me and I knew that he wanted to tell Harold about Dex. I shrugged and basically non-verbally signaled him to go ahead if he felt like it was important. If these people indeed were allies, we might as well tell them the whole story.
That sounded good from a narrative perspective, but listen to what Rory does here.
Well, as an addition to this, there was a third Burley.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Robin.
Go ahead, Robin. Like, in the narrative, I'm like, he looked at me, I looked at him, I shrugged and nodded, like, go ahead. So I've handed it off to him. And then he says, there was a third Burley. Go ahead, Robin. And then he passes it back to me. That was a little bit. I could have probably handled it a little bit better in the narrative. like in the narration. But you know, it felt like a good thing to. It felt like a good narration, and this was just a fluke that it happened to be like bouncing back and forth. But it doesn't really matter if you're not looking at it. But once again, I'm a perfectionist with my own work, so I notice these little things, you know.
Well, long story short, we were just starting to find our family members. I found Rory pretty quickly, and then we found our cousin Dex, and we were like roaming the island and trying to, you know, just establish connections with other people. And then Dex disappeared for a while, and we didn't see him. And one day he returned to our homestead, but he was changed. And it was actually a very sad sight, and we sort of had to put him down.
Changed how? Was he raving mad, like saying could hear voices?
Nah, it was more like his skin had changed, and he could still talk, but he was pleading with us.
He was a mutant.
He was transforming.
Yeah.
Good, Maddie. That was good because whenever I'm doing like the calm and collected, like logical cop, I'm using a euphemism here, but then Maddie comes in and does his color commentary, and he's the passion, you know. So it's like, again, I say, damn, we worked well off of each other, you know. We worked well off of each other.
Yeah. And it was horrible to see. He was like bleeding from all over, and he was like crawling on the ground. It was awful. I still have nightmares about that time.
A personal stake with this whole warlock business.
We kind of wanna find
I
him.
both.
Yeah.
Back when he was named fucking Hemlock, I saved his life. And then the very next time I ever met him was him fucking putting that injection.
Jesus. Is it true what I heard that he was actually part of the scientists of the bunker?
See, I have a working theory. I talked to some scientists from the bunker when they last came out. So me, Juniper, Smiles, and an old member of the Pathfinders who I believe died during rescue. We're going to meet them at Westbrook because we'd heard they were there. And we found them and the riders of Portland under attack by the mutants. The riders had offered to escort them, and they'd been boxed in while the scientists were getting radio components. We quickly got them out and helped them, and while Saint died, I had to leave.
Saint's dead.
That's as far as I know. Someone said he went down to one of the heads. It hit him as we were walking, well, as we were coming in. And then I haven't seen him since, and he's got his stuff at my place.
We heard rumors that he was wandering alone. We heard he was wandering.
While we were talking it out behind the house, Gil of Lamplight noticed that the interest of a certain banana-colored individual just didn't seem to know any bounds, and pointed it out. I suppose we were just that interesting as conversationalists.
Banana Man over there is the leader of the highwaymen.
Is Banana Man saying what we're talking about over the radio?
Unknown, I just see him crawling over every so often, trying to be sneaky.
Yo, Banana Man, I'm gonna throw a smoke grenade at you.
He might throw a flashbang at him, actually.
And off he goes.
Why don't you take a deep breath, man? You got a mask on.
Oop, I think that stuff is actually toxic to breathe in.
I mean, he didn't strike me as a bad fellow.
He's part of the highwaymen, so I mean.
Right, they're mountain-billy. Yeah. We have fun now, yeah! I found, I don't know if I ever fucking Jesus Christ. I don't know if I ever showed you, but there was a note.
And I love the fact that Gil's like, oh, Jesus Christ, like that just hits so perfectly.
I don't know if I ever fucking Jesus Christ. I don't know if I ever showed you, but there was a note plastered on some random building that seemed to be written by Loxley, and
I'll say this.
he mentioned something.
I'll say this. Lucas's blood was the foundation with which Warlock first made the serum, the same serum I was injected with. He's also serving as the patient zero for the mutant virus, and from when I talked to Deadman, it's quite possible that Warlock created the Zulu virus, which is the name of the virus that's made all these zombies everywhere.
I knew there was something to that.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen the spiders and the wolves.
I've seen the
but
heads and the wolves.
Yeah, it's fucking becoming, it's evolving maybe, or maybe he's making new strains. I don't fucking know.
The way the mutants look now, they did not look like that originally, but they were also much tougher originally. It'd take a lot of bullets to put one down. Lucas, he was always close to Warlock, and he'd gone into the bunker looking for a scientist that had lived there. So Lucas went in there looking for a Dr. Joshua, and when I talked to the scientists from the bunker, they affirmed that and said that there was a Dr. Joshua Revit who he created the Zulu virus, and the work he and Warlock were doing was very similar. He actually thought that Dr. Joshua was working with Warlock, but Warlock is a one-man party. Everyone else is just a tool to him.
So who created the virus, Joshua or Warlock?
That's the thing. They say Dr. Joshua Revit created the virus. Saint says Warlock did. The only name we had for Warlock before was Hemlock. That's not an actual name.
No.
No one would name their kid Hemlock.
No.
So,
it's also a poison.
Yeah.
My theory is Warlock is Dr. Joshua Revit.
Ah. That's a good theory, actually.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That could actually be true.
So might I ask what's the plan going forward? I mean, is there any developments in plan in dealing with this? Because it's just gonna get worse.
Right now, I'm trying to put together a quick reaction force of allies and a few other independent groups to work with us. Not only that, there's the research that we have the science team doing once we can fill it with enough scientists that aren't just a nuclear engineer. And we plan to have them see what they can do with the serum, reverse engineer it to get more samples, see what we can do to maybe create something that destroys mutant tissue on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add, I'm actually really tired, so forgive me if I'm nodding off. It's past 2 a.m. here. I really need to go to sleep soon. It's only like, what, like 13, 14 minutes left, so let's power through.
Load it into bullets, shoot it into the...
Huh.
If we could do that, that'd be very, very useful.
Yeah, very helpful. Indeed.
Although at the same time, I believe that would be slow acting.
Recommended is to always, like, carry heavy weaponry nowadays.
Just carry a weapon you have a good amount of ammo for and don't miss.
Alright. That's a lot of information to take in, but yeah, you are basically a
It is a little bit interesting because he said any weapon, just have a decent amount of ammo for it. Whereas I think Elusive... No, not... Was it Elusive? Someone up at Old Duskar a couple of episodes back before we relocated said that... It could have been Nick, actually. Said that you need to use 308 or higher. Like 308 Mosin rounds. That's like something you need. No, it could have been here as well. New Duskar. I don't know. Somebody said that it was at least. I'm tired. Okay.
Treasure trove of information.
If you're gonna do something, man, if you want this, quick reaction force or response, whatever, I want in, man. I hate them. I hate them.
Yeah, I figured this was something Rory was gonna jump on. His anger had grown ever since that incident. He did his best not to show it, but I could tell.
I want to keep location.
I loved like um exaggerating the emotional aspect of Rory's anger. I love doing that, like just putting some emotional music in the back and having my monologue going like, "Oh yeah, Rory, I see you. I see what's happening to you." You know, I love doing that.
Like New Duska and these other places where people are building up fortresses safe. Yeah. Until we can figure out a way to put down Warlock once and for all and kill off these humanoid mutants, that's what's got to be done.
Yeah.
Our home isn't too far from here. We actually live pretty much
Yeah.
on Duskar's doorstep.
Just
I'll tell you all where I live, but I've been keeping it very down low because the mutants have been asking for me by name. I think Jamestown might try something if they found out where I lived, even though some of the people there are good, it's just their leaders, okay? I know too much and their leaders don't like it.
What was that one guy's name that we met?
John.
John? You know John?
Is he John Doe?
No idea. I think he just said John.
Their leaders are named Stephen and Luella. Stephen has a very deep voice, and Luella is, I'm fairly certain, the only woman in Jamestown right now.
Oh, okay. So where's Bastion located now?
Currently, it's just me, Nigel, and Ben and Bash. We've lost people. We're rebuilding. We always do. I've been reduced to one man multiple times. Either from death or just people going missing. There's a small
That tells me everything I need to know because that actually impresses me. You know, anybody would be completely forgiven if they gave up playing a faction when they're reduced to one man. But if what Harold says is true and he's actually been reduced multiple times to one man and come back from that, that is impressive. That shows dedication.
industrial section near Hazelands. Right on the water, with docks.
Yeah.
I am right there. Don't tell anyone. I am purposely keeping that on the down low.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry.
Our lips are sealed, man.
We all want the same thing, pretty much. We definitely have a personal stake in finding Warlock.
I'm more than willing to help someone put Warlock down. He's done too much at this point.
What? You're collecting samples for your science and stuff, right?
For the science team, yeah. I'm no scientist myself.
What about Dex's body? He was still in the middle of a transformation, or whatever that was.
I don't know. I don't.
It might be best to leave the dead to their rest. I'll do a lot of things, but I would leave the body be. Especially because we don't know how contagious this is, and I don't want to risk contaminating anyone with a body that was transforming. Hell, for all we know, it's only contagious when they're transforming.
We'd have to dig him up again, and I don't know if I can do that.
I'm not gonna force you to, and I'm not gonna ask for it.
Yeah, I suppose.
I will say this: that was actually a stroke of genius from Mehdi to actually mention Dex's body. I was totally for that. That was like really a good idea because that would add to the lore to the role play. We'd have to like dig him up and give him over, but Harold shot it down pretty quickly, and I think he did it for our sake because it would be very complicated to sort of like how would you like give him a body that obviously isn't there in the game, and like it would be a little bit. I think he like refused just out of like it's gonna be, don't overcomplicate this. But Mehdi had that was a stroke of genius. And then I say like I just add on that, you know, I don't think I can do that. It's too emotional for me. So that kind of like, you know, just made it unobtainable of a turn, of a twist. But but it was a good, very good, innovative thinking, very good spontaneity,
That is for
good
Let him
bout of
let him sleep.
spontaneity,
He's earned it.
and that's surprisingly emotional as well. Like, let him sleep. He's earned it.
All right, so where are you off to now? You still gonna stay here and talk to
I'm
people here?
probably gonna get some sleep nearby.
All right.
If you don't mind, we we really value this information. If you come across, you know, revelations or anything, please keep us in the loop. I
I'll
don't
keep
want
you
this
in the
to
loop.
become a race. Let's not keep this as a race between people to see who can get the fucking guy first, you know? I think everybody wants a piece of him, and I say we all carve him up equally.
I feel we should all like have a put him on trial or something.
Yeah, that was my bout of spontaneity, which I think Harold also shut down because it might be a bit too complicated. But I was going for the angle of making it into a big event. You know, like have Warlock on trial and make that be his final. Like he could be executed or anything. He could also kind of like maybe be incarcerated somewhere, like in the for lore purposes, like in the bunker or somewhere where you like it's very hard to get like or go to.
It's the one man that I don't care how it's done. He needs to go. He's the only person I can say that about.
Like when we first discovered that there were like factions of survivors still around, we saw posters, and the first poster that we saw was like, or one of the first were like a picture of Warlock, the collective, like come to purgatory, and all that.
We saw the price on his head. I think it was by the Red Militia.
Yeah, Red Militia had put on a price on him.
They were a bunch of incompetents and they put a price on his head because they caught him and then let him go.
What? They did?
So they caught him and then he got away. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It could have been ended if I just fucking shot him at Lucas's coronation. But no. That was
He was at the
just when I
coronation.
was. Yeah, he was. He was in one of the red. He was in a red hood and he was keeping to himself for the most part. I went to talk to him.
Oh my.
At the time,
Wait.
there were no issues, and I was changing Bastion's direction to keep the South safe.
Did you
So,
tell us just now that he was in a red hood?
well, that's his typical outfit here. He wears a red poncho.
Speaking of that, that little moment where Rory says, "Did you say he wears a red hood?" I saved that as a flashback because I was going to use it as a flashback in episode 25 when Warlock attacks New Duskar with everything, like his mutants and all that, and we get caught up in the middle. When I run over to New Duskar and try to find Rory during that massive firefight, I could swear that I actually saw someone with a red hood running in the distance, like right when I got there. I saw somebody in a red hood, like, and it was like not the dark red hood that is available to any player, but it was a hood that was more rare, more bright, almost like a little Red Riding Hood red. You know, if you know what I mean, like a brighter red. And when I saw that, I was like, dude, that is Warlock, because I remembered this. I remembered Rory saying that somebody had said that he wears a red hood. So I wanted to use the flashback of Rory saying that when I saw the red hood. But then when I edited episode 25, I realized that the guy in the hood had never been recorded. I saw it, but for some reason it was never recorded. If I started recording after that, maybe might be what happened. So I was a little bit bummed out about that. But yeah, that was actually what I had planned for that.
Being watched. Oh.
Banana Man again.
Yeah.
He really reminded me of one of Dad's old sayings about how someone could be akin to a six-pack of beers, but lacking the little plastic thing that holds it all together.
I have a frag grenade if you want me to use that next.
I can't hear anyone. I don't like this.
Tell you what, have some liquid cocaine.
I mean,
I can't hear you. Don't hit me, please.
is he? He says he's the leader of the Highwaymen.
happening?
What does that say about that
That is an
group?
overdose. You're
I
probably
was
not.
thirsty. I heard
Can you
that.
hear now? No, you can.
Hi.
Shit,
How's it
I
going?
thought I had a bunch of drugs in this pot.
Here.
Oh,
Hey,
shit.
yo, he accidentally fed you a bunch of drugs, man.
That's fine.
Or
I'm getting
water.
wavy.
Oh, it's like I had a bunch of pill bottles full of fucking antibiotics in here. Oh,
That makes
no.
him use the bullets.
What the fuck is up with this
He's a very special kind of person, isn't he?
Special.
Oh yeah.
I'd rather like him. I think he's
See,
fun.
here's the thing. The drugs in that
Hey.
pot wouldn't even have
Can I come
affected them
in?
because they're in pill bottles.
Can I come in there? What?
Placebo effect.
What the fuck? Sounded like he jumped off or something. Like,
Yeah, the reason why I say that is because it sounds like when he screams or whatever he does, the last part, it sounds like his voice like just disappears. Like it gets further away. So I thought it was like it felt like he jumped off a cliff and like or like fell off a cliff and like just fell. Listen again.
sounded like he.
Wait,
Can I come in there? What?
listen.
Placebo effect.
Just no.
What the fuck? Sounded like he jumped off or something. Like,
So you're with Lamplight, right?
Lamplight and Bastion, we were good friends, and they worked with us against the Black Company.
Well, that would make them friends of the South. Having heard that, they immediately scored points in my book.
Charon is just a lot more open about brutality than I am. A lot more willing to do it.
Holy shit. Great value god. GVG. Hey. Thank you very much for that subscription. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, good sir. Look at that. 10 months. Currently on a 10-month streak. Very nice to see you again, man. How are you? I'm doing fine. Except you might be able to see that I'm actually very tired. I've gone way past my usual stream time. Almost a year since Banjo-Tooie. A year? Really? Already? What? No, that can't be it. Really? Is it? It might be. Oh, it feels... sorry. Subbed at the end of the game. Oh, okay. Oh, well. Well, thank you for showing up. It's been a long time. Yeah, I know. I remember that. That was actually fun. That was cool. What have you been up to lately? If you're just popping in, trying to pop in. Oh, you're sweet, man. I hope you're doing well. Let me just continue here so that I can go to bed soon.
so what had happened with Corey, by the way? Like, was he kicked out or?
I gave him the option to hold to his oaths or leave with no consequences or disgruntlement because this has happened before, right? Where we've been reduced to only a few people and we've been stuck like that for a while before I rebuilt us. And not only that, it was one of his friends. He was my.
About to head to work. I just fill my free time with editing. One of these days I get to streaming again. Oh, okay. So are you a full-time editor, like a video editor, or are you just doing that on the side for your own benefit? That's kind of what I'm doing right now. But I'm actually planning on applying to a trade school this fall, this coming fall, which will I will be educating myself to become, or I will be I will become a professional video editor. If I get accepted.
My friend too, okay? Michael with the Arbiters.
Yeah.
He went rogue, he broke his oaths, he killed and ate some people, he broke most of his oaths, like I said.
At a real job,
He
okay,
joined the
gotcha.
Arbiters. He used to be with us.
Yeah, he was with you when we were there. He's good.
He's Irish, don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, this is when Michael accidentally, within quotation, killed Corey with one hit from the bat.
He's what, Irish?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right?
I gotta pop out and head to work, try to get some sleep. Yeah. Well, thank you for stopping by, man. I hope to see you again soon. It's been too long. Take care and have a good day at work. I will go to sleep as soon as this is done, which is in about 5 minutes. Have a good day, man. And if I don't see you tomorrow, have a great weekend. Take care, man.
It's like, you guys arrived in the middle of I gave him a second chance with his first fuck up, right? And then he kept doing it, and eventually I told him that I didn't want him to go, because if I did, then I would have been sending a fucking crazed maniac. Normally what we do when you do that is, especially when you break the law on desertion, we have a trial, and I'm not the one who decides what happens to him. It's the other members of Bastion.
Yeah.
And instead of putting himself up to that, he ran away, hid, and joined the others.
Huh.
Him and Corey were good friends, and well, they were friends with me as well.
Him and Corey were good friends. Keep in mind, we've just seen a flashback where Michael pretty much killed Corey with a bat with one hit. It's kind of interesting to hear Harold say that both of them were friends after that. It is interesting. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna force Corey to stay with the group that would most likely be not only in the state that it is for a while, but also would be trying to go after Michael.
Oh, yeah, okay, I gotcha.
So I gave him the option, and he chose. He's still working with us, he's just not one of us.
Alright, alright.
While Harold drifted onto Bastion's past actions, this could be heard in the background.
After Jamestown vanished, and we were left to deal with their problems after we reconciled with
Anyone hurt? Need a lawyer?
them. We were,
Fucking ambulance chaser.
I love that. Like, as soon as there's somebody in distress and then somebody goes, anybody hurt? Need a lawyer? You know, like, and immediately the first thing I come to think of is like an ambulance chaser. You know, like, it's time to make money, you know?
Once again, Banana Man couldn't stay back. And what was that saying? Curiosity killed the cat?
Who eats cat food like that?
He apparently.
You gotta save the flavor.
Oh my
It sounds
god.
more like you ate the fucking cake.
Yeah.
It was damn good.
Well, maybe not killed per se, but Harold was certainly supportive of the notion.
Yo, you should try and fly off the. You should try and fly off the cliff. It'll totally work.
I've tried once before, lost a leg.
Watch here. I'll cast a spell on you.
That's all you lost, really?
Well, actually, I jumped down after this fella right here, but I found out later that he didn't jump.
Okay, ready?
It's probably not a good thing for us to gather on the very edge of a cliff, you know, especially with Banana Man. I'm just saying.
I can't fly. That made me jump.
You can fly. You can now fly.
It's so tempting. Oh, I have to fight the urge. down there safely, I think.
To be fair, I don't think he wants to lose the NBC. You are going to have a bad time if you try and go down that way.
I don't mind losing it. I'm ready to get shifted in this shit.
Mr. Banana Man, can I just ask you something? Like,
No, Nameless, not again!
And Nameless disappears.
What the hell?
He's alive. Okay.
Oh yeah, I just want to know,
Shit.
like, the rest of the highwaymen, are they like you?
In a way.
I hope not.
We all wear cowboy hats.
I do hope
I'm
they're
very
serious at all times.
Sir. I'm
Very serious.
sir.
I watched you inhale a metal can of cat food.
And it was damn good. There's zombies out there, they eating all my good food. I got
Jesus.
After having watched Nameless take the very leap of faith which had been reserved for a certain yellow goofball, the meeting was finally coming to a close.
Just want to say it was good to meet you again, and you can count on us.
Lamplight, it seems one of your members has fallen off this here cliff.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to our next meeting.
How the fuck did you do that?
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Damn, lucky I didn't jump down after you.
It's like watching a bunch of fucking pinatas with intelligence.
He's
Right on.
Bye, Harold.
See you.
Bro. Shall we
Shall
be off?
Boys?
Yeah, let's be off.
Yeah, alright.
Hey, please,
Open-ended, man. It was a good meeting.
stay safe, Burley.
They snorting lines over there or what?
See you, Burley.
Alright, take care.
See ya.
This was a good trip.
He says, see you, Burley. I don't think he realized that Burley was our collective surname. Like, I think he called Rory Burley. He just called him Burley. Or he called me Burley. He called one of us just Burley. Or he knew it was a surname, but he just used it casually. Like, see you, Burley. I don't know.
We got a lot of information that we actually needed. I feel like whenever we meet Harold, we get so much exposition that it's like sometimes it's hard to keep up. You know,
Yeah.
Keep track of everything he's saying. Like he's name dropping
He's like
it everywhere.
chronicler.
Yeah, I know, right?
Nowhere will this be more evident than in the last episode, episode 34, when we meet Harold for the final time. And he just goes on and on about ancient times, and honestly, like, we're trying to, the only thing I want to know is like something that has developed in recent times. And he sits for maybe 25 minutes and just talks about, like, he does it without even thinking. I ask him a question about a specific development, and he's like, well, you got to think that this group was actually before this. They did this, and this stems from the fact that this was even before, like he goes way back. But I don't like begrudge him that or anything. I think it's cool. It's, if nothing else, it makes for something fun to actually something to make fun of. So that is good content in and of itself. But yeah, what I said here was so true. He drops so much exposition on you that it's hard to keep up. It's hard to he can like start name dropping like 4 or 5 groups in a single breath, and it's like, I have no idea what you're talking about,
All right, very good, very good. Well, nice job today, bro.
In that way, Harold and Motormouth Matrix kind of differed. Harold was the guy that loved to just push exposition on you. He loved to explain what's been going on. Like Rory said, he's a kind of a chronicler. Whereas Motormouth Matrix just wouldn't shut up about anything. He would like just talk about the first thing on his head, and then it would gradually switch to other things, and then it would gradually switch to even more things, and then at certain, like, once in a while, you'd be able to get a word in, and you'd be able to switch the subject if you were lucky, but then you were on that subject and he would like ramble on about that, you know. So they were different, but they were similar.
Oh, very nice job. All right.
And this is fun. I love the fact that this ended up on the video as well. And I think Maddie said it afterwards that so good that it ended up. Now that we're alone and we start like busting balls again. Look at this.
Very good, very good. Well, nice job today, bro. Very nice job.
Starts pointing.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Stop picking at me. Stop.
No, you stop it.
Stop.
You started it.
No. Fucking go down. We'll talk again tomorrow.
Oh, that was so fun.
All right. Take care, bro.
Wow, we hadn't built the fence there yet.
While Warlock had been releasing new strains of mutants into the wilds, the Anti-Mutant Initiative was equally dead set on stopping him from accomplishing his goals of changing humanity.
You see, that was another thing that was important for us to know, that there was actually people who were actively trying to stop him. These episodes where we just end up talking for a long time with certain groups, you got to remember that these episodes are important in their own way, because certain episodes, like this one, for instance, here we get that piece of information, which moves the story forward. Now we know Harold is out there working together with other groups to try to counteract the whole mutant movement, the collective, and Warlock. So that is actually always something that I try to maintain, like the progression of the story. How much information do I have now? And how much information do I gain in this episode? That's always like something you want to keep track of.
Operating quietly and behind the scenes, Harold had apparently been on his own since the storm, trying to coordinate the effort, covertly working together with groups such as Lamplight. Having once again linked up with him, it felt good to be able to reassure him that the Burleys would be there if he had need of us. Rory and I were determined to not let Dex's death go unaccounted for, and this initiative seemed to be a good way of furthering our own goal of possibly getting close to Warlock in order to achieve our own agenda.
Finally! Let me go to bed now. Very good, very good. That was it.
Really needed to get on.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Okay, guys, that was it. That was episode 23, Banana Man. And it's one of the more humorous episodes because obviously Banana Man supplies a lot of humor in that episode. But now I want to go to sleep. I don't really want to sit here and elaborate further. I've been doing a lot of talking throughout the episode anyway, so. But guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Next time we do roleplay review, it's going to be episode 24, Homecoming, when we actually go back to our first base and try to... What did we actually go there for? I don't remember. But that'll be in the episode. However, I don't know when we're going to be doing that. Maybe tomorrow? But again, it's all up in the air regarding whether I'm going to be streaming or not tomorrow. So we'll see. If I don't stream tomorrow, then I wish you a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday when we go back to Shovel Knight and continue the Plague of Shadows expansion. For now, oh yeah, and if you want to, you can always check out my Discord, which is reachable through that link. That is where you'll always get the latest news and updates regarding the channel. And if you want to, you can also check my retro progression list, which is obtainable here, or viewable here. That's where you'll be able to check the backlog and also see what we have been through. We beat Death Rally earlier today as well, so but I'm not going to put that on there. I don't know if I've told you this, guys, but there is actually a separate list with other games, more modern games and all that, but also other types of games that are not classic Nintendo consoles or requested Stream Boss games. And that list is on my profile page on Twitch, where you go to like the About section. You can check the games that I've completed that are not in the retro progression list in the Google Doc. That is where I'm going to put Death Rally on the profile page. So, but yeah, just clearing that up. This is it for tonight. Remember to stay safe, mind social distance, and always keep the retro legacy alive. Until next time, this is EagleBite83, very sleepy, signing off. Take care, good night, and goodbye.